Hi friends, and I'm sorry I have been MIA, but this is the AstroEnergy Astrology podcast for February 3rd. And my name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. I actually was not in Orlando, Florida last week. And as much as I wanted to do a podcast leading up to my trip to Phoenix, which I was there to visit my sister, there just wasn't enough time to do a video podcast. So my apologies, there wasn't one this past week. But honestly, it's a little bit difficult to do it this week. So it's going to be abbreviated. It's going to be a fairly brief one. I'm sorry, I'm just moving the screens around so I can get to see everything properly. But yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult to get a full one in this week. I have a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. As you see, I went to Phoenix and every day was jam-packed. I got to go to Scottsdale. I got to go to Sedona. I did have a very allergic reaction to the air. There was high pollen there, and it kind of derailed my trip to Scottsdale. As you know, I'm an artist, and Scottsdale is art central, along with Sedona. So I did get to see a little bit, but I did not get to go very long to Scottsdale. I had lunch and then saw one gallery. Future, I will be going back and visiting my sister more. And it's the first time I was in Arizona. This is my 39th state that I visited. So I only have 11 more to go, most of them in the Northeast and Alaska, few across most northeast, I believe. So we're gonna get to the astrology real quick and get you what you need to know. Last week, really there wasn't a great deal going on except for Venus going into Neptune, Venus going into Pisces. And Venus in Pisces is a really lovely energy. It is the sign that she is exalted in. She is very comfortable in the energy of Pisces. Pisces is ruled naturally by Neptune, and both Venus and Neptune are about desires and what we truly want with our hearts. And Venus is kind of a lower vibration or lower octave of the Neptune energy. So in Pisces, Venus really gets to expand her realm. She kicks over from Aquarius energy, which is very mental, very analytical, and very wonderfully all encompassing, to Pisces, which is emotionally encompassing. It is like diving into the water and trying to remove the sensation of being in the water. You just can't do it. We are so much water in our bodies and the water that surrounds us. It's like we merge with the energy. But going underwater slows us down because there's now a very definite resistance in the energy, and emotionally it may feel like we are in over our heads or underwater with this energy. She is very emotive. She is very quiet. Her desires tend to be nonverbal, and so she may not really express herself overtly like she was with Aquarius. Aquarius can be more opinionated, more aware and verbal. They are a very verbal sign, but Venus in Pisces is nonverbal. She is very much into body language and intuiting what is going on with other people. Just know that that energy will be with us for around a month. Let's just look and see how long she's in the sign. Venus goes into Aries on the 21st of February, and she started her journey in Pisces the 28th. So almost a full month she will be in this energy, which makes it a wonderful Valentine's Day because she is really in her agape love, the energy of universal love. And so right now she's at 7 degrees Pisces, and she is in positive aspect with the North Node and the South Node. She's trine to the South Node in Scorpio at 8 degrees, and she is sextile to the North Node in Taurus at 8 degrees, which means that there is a lot of fated love moments coming in, or desire and the dream coming true. So in about 10 days to 2 weeks, she will be joining up with Neptune and really hitting it very strongly with the energy of universal love and desire. And this is also a wonderful expansion of energy around arts and music. I just think of all the Renaissance paintings with the very fluffy women, and like there's a certain style and technique of painting that's somewhat it's oil painting, so it gets a little bit fuzzy, and then there's some sharp edges here and there, but fuzzy in other ways. And so it's really that kind of immersive energy, emotional and feminine and desirous. It is a wonderful energy. Quite honestly, I have Saturn in Pisces. So when Venus went in, she hit my Saturn, my natal Saturn, and I'm about to hit my Saturn return, and Saturn will be in Pisces for 2.5 years. And we will get to really fully immerse in our energy around Pisces and take ownership of those feelings that we have, of those intuitions that we are aware of as we interact with other people. Until Saturn goes in Pisces, we are going to be more lower boundary. The boundaries are very blurred. It is the chameleon energy of the zodiac, and it can enhance more of our addictions. But Saturn really shows us our addictions. That can be codependency, drugs, alcohol, gambling, anything that is a vice or an addiction. People, and we obsessive energies, but more, you can get more paranoid under Pisces energy. And Saturn will show us where we are paranoid, where we are addictive, where we have blinders on, and will force us to take ownership of that area that we're trying to ignore. Pisces energy doesn't like to, it isn't the energy of ownership as Saturn is, or maybe the opposite sign of Virgo. It is not comfortable with the structure. It wants to break down structures. So there is a definite energy coming in with Saturn going retrograde at times in Pisces and then direct again about low boundaries, low structure, and then higher boundaries and higher structure. And it all relates to our emotional life, our sentimentality, our creativity, and where we have blinders on, where we don't see real life for what it is. And real life is a subjective thing when you think about reality. It really is fluid, and it can come and go depending on what your belief system is. And our belief systems are very strongly linked to Pisces. It does rule film. It rules the qualities of movies and telling stories, especially stories from the past. So we are going to start to see a wonderful vintage energy come in. Thinking back on when bricks and mortar stores and downtown, small town America was around, that kind of retro energy is going to be really strong for the next 2.5 years. And it's heralded in with Saturn in Aquarius, really bringing out the energy of eccentricity. So we kind of finish up the gateway energy to Pisces with that eccentricity and a deep psychic awareness in a logical sense, in a claircognizant or intuitive sense that just drops into our brain and we interpret it analytically. And then it goes into our emotional life. So the gateway is coming, and that is in March, early March, I believe. And so that energy is strong now. We have Vesta 27 Pisces. Vesta energy is home and hearth. So it is wrapping up an old story around a past family or